Heard from your mom and your dad you're in town, and that you're meeting some friends for sundown. I've been told, I've been told.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rebecca. If you're new, I am a 30-year-old mum here in Australia. I am on Centrelink. On this channel I do, my motherhood journey, my disability journey. I go through personal finance, at least in my personal experience, as someone who is on Centrelink. Just a backstory, I've been on Centrelink since I was 19 years old. I got into disability pension because, if you do not know, I'm legally blind and I now have Meniere's disease. So those are two very limiting disabilities to have, and I am just not a reliable worker, let me just say. But that's my quick backstory. I am in a long-term relationship, but we don't share our finances just yet, so all of my budgeting stuff is just me, myself and I. If you like what you see and want to see more, please feel free to subscribe and join in on this little fam that we're kind of creating here. Thank you all so much, by the way, on the outpour of just like love and kindness that most of you have shared with me. I truly appreciate all type of perspectives, as long as it's kind, because if it's not, you will be banned or I will be putting you in your place. Just saying. With all that out of the way, today we're going to be discussing my payday routine for 2025. I've seen Ella Smiley Citrus do this as well. If you do not follow her, please do yourself a favour and go follow her. She's amazing. She actually just hit the most amount of money she's ever earned in a month, which is incredible, amazing. So obviously I have been following her for a while, and I do see her payday routine for like that year, and I'm definitely inspired because, as someone who is on a much lower income, and I say income loosely because people seem to be getting very triggered when I say that Centrelink is an income for me, because it is my only source of income right now. Just a caveat, I know I don't need to, but I'm going to, because there's been a couple of other comments as well. I have been looking for work from home. I actually think I've mentioned it before in some of my other videos. I am currently looking for work. I have actually been looking for work on and off, apart from when I was studying, for the last 8 years. Yeah, most of that was in person, by the way. I got knocked back so much for not being able to drive. And then now with my Meniere's disease, I have uncontrollable vertigo attacks. Like it's just not something that is reliable in an in-person setting. Work from home, I feel, is a little different. I did actually have like a little contract job at the beginning of the year, and it was just the experience, and I got that, and I truly appreciate what that has given me. It's really tricky, especially for those who have disabilities. Those that know, you get it. I don't have to explain it to you. But for those that just come into my comments and say otherwise and don't know any kind of context, there it is for you. So all of that out of the way, we're going to be getting into my payday routine. This is for this year at this current time. I'm going to try and do it once a year, so from every November onwards. I feel like it'll be a really good, interesting way to like kind of see where I'm starting on how I budget. I did actually do a specific on how I budget video, but this is more like my actual payday routine and what the steps I do and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to see like what that looks like versus next year. What's going to change? Is there anything that's going to change? Who knows? So without further ado, let's grab a drink and let's get into it. So if you've seen any of my content before, this is a very familiar picture, I guess, to you. This is going to be kind of similar to like how I budget, but it's just like what actually happens on my payday routine. Again, this is just in this point in time, so I'm really intrigued to see where I'm at in a year's time. So as you can see, as a quick snapshot, this is my total income that I get for the month, $2,400, not a lot. For context, I am on family tax, A and B, rent assistance, partner parenting payment, and my partner is on carer's allowance and carer's payment for our daughter. I used to be on that when I was somewhat of a single parent. Not that my partner and I weren't together, just that he was working so much that I was the only parent at home. And because my child has such, complex medical needs, she was not able to be put into daycare. She's still not able to be put into daycare. But yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like. So usually, we usually get paid on a Thursday, but we actually technically get paid like the Wednesday night. So we usually stay up fairly late, just so we can like do what we need to do and put our money where it needs to go. So I'll either do two different things. It kind of depends on what I'm feeling at the moment. I will either auto transfer everything, like everything's already set up, ready to go, or the last couple of pays I've been really wanting to just manually do it, because I think it feels more satisfying in that sense, like putting that amount away into savings, like that is manually very satisfying for me. Like, you know what I mean, like actually punching the numbers and pressing send, that can be more satisfying for me sometimes, rather than just like automatically going in and me not really consciously, so you know what I mean, like subconsciously. Am I making sense? It's hard for me to explain, but I hope I'm making sense. It also really depends on like the day of the month, because usually my, like for example, my boob insurance and my term life insurance, they both come out on the first of every month. So, and if they're due, which the term life is monthly and then the boob is quarterly, so if they're due I have to make sure that the money is in there to pay before, depending on where my payment falls in that month. So for example, like based on my budget for October, like, you know, I'd already set out to put that money aside so that when the first came around it was able to just come out, and that's exactly what happened. That's something that's still satisfying for me, like being able to just have the money there ready to go, especially for bills. I have to laugh because it's kind of like free money, but it's not. It feels like that sometimes, I think, because you go over an extended period of time saving up for that amount, that you don't have to fork it out all at once, so that I'm still contributing, but it doesn't feel like such a big amounts coming out at once. So for example, last pay I manually transferred everything. If you watch my budget video, I will often do my notes first, go into my notes app on my phone because it's much more portable and I find it very quick and easy to use rather than going onto the computer. I do also have the sheet on my phone, but I find it really difficult to like use on there. So yeah, I will budget through that. And then I'll go through all of the list. I will pay board, I'll pay food, and then the rest is whatever else I want to use. I'll usually pay into savings next after I've done the essentials, and then it's whatever else I have set out for. So for example, like fuel, I'll put away for fuel. Phone bill, I'll also put away for that if I know it's going to be coming up. And then same with savings, like I will manually transfer that into there just to visually see it. I think that's what I mean. It's like I'm visually seeing it being transferred, whereas if I auto transfer into savings, it doesn't feel like I've saved anything. I know that's such a weird thing. It's kind of like you know you have, why does that not? Anyway, and then same with like subscriptions or any sort of debt like Afterpay that I have. If I know it's coming out, I will either specifically Afterpay, I'll pay it then and then, even if it's not due. Even if I'm like a week behind, I will still pay that next week because that's not on my payday. And then like Spotify, you know, Google Storage and Upbeat and those sorts of things, I do have a bills account that I set everything into. Same with my phone, that goes into that as well. I either manually do all of that or I auto transfer. It's kind of really depends on how I feel. I think deep down when it comes to savings, I do prefer manually doing it, so it's a visual satisfaction. Whereas bills, it's not very satisfying to pay bills, obviously, even though it's necessary. So I just auto transfer that, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to like manually gotta pay the phone bill, you know. So I am hoping in the next year I'll be investing. Hopefully, touch wood. I don't know what's gonna happen, obviously. I'm hoping by this time next year too, I'll have majority, if not all, of my student loans and Afterpay just completely gone, hopefully. So then I'll have extra money to put towards, you know, savings and investing and stuff like that. And I mean, also hopefully I'll have a job by then, but who knows? I'm not in charge of that. I mean, I am, but like, it's really up to the employer if they want to hire me or not. But yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes, or where I'm going to be next year with my payday routine. So this was a very, very short one. It's probably just reiterating a lot of what I said in the budget video. But if you watched this, thank you so much. Hope you're all enjoying your day wherever you are. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.